Madison, Neil Foulds. One last throw of the dice, guys. Ronnie O'Sullivan, maybe hasn't been vintage Ronnie Stephen, but he's 3 frames away from being the champion of champion for another year. Is he worthy of it?
Yeah, you have to say yes. He's scored the heavier of the two players. You know, you mentioned there he lost the first frame, but after that, Kyren missed kind of chance after chance, really, to keep try and keep some sort of pressure on. But as you're running, you know, he went up. Aguirre was nowhere near his best today, but he did enough to create that lead going into tonight.
It could be over very, very quickly, couldn't it?
It could be. He's won 5 of his last 6 finals by landslide wins, so if he gets a hot start tonight, it could be. His attitude's been excellent, I think, O'Sullivan. Not been at his best, but dare I say it, we're getting used to him having a good attitude.
Impressed, Neil?
Yes, I was actually impressed with the way he finished off that session because he got bogged down, you know, but, you know, Kyren has got to come out and go with all guns blazing. He can't just roll over like a few people have done in the past. I'm sure he won't.
Well, Kyren is going to have to come out firing. He's going to have to get off to a great start, like he did in the opening frame of the match. Yeah,
I mean, look, he started well. It was a sort of short-lived thing, wasn't it, where he won this frame, and Ronnie, you know, he missed a comfortable ball here, an unsettling, easy ball. Ronnie can start matches so quickly, but in the end, Kyren carved out a 50 break. He never really showed us that his positional play was at his best either, Stephen. You know, there were times in it when he struggled, weren't there?
Yeah, it was. He had, you know, this is what Kyren Wilson does. He's a tremendous. I hate the phrase single ball potter, but he is. He rescues the situation really well all the time. But yeah, he's not going to a scoring rhythm. We saw against Judd Trump earlier in the week where he finished with 2 centres and a 90. He needs to get that sort of form back if he's got any chance tonight.
And then Ronnie went on a roll, of course, scored highly and took 5 frames on the spin.
Yes, he had a little purple patch sort of end of the first session and towards the start of the second session. Me and Stephen were having a disagreement about that shot. I don't think that was the time for Kyren to play that long red. Ronnie started motoring at this point into playing some nice shots, exquisite little positional shots, and started getting a feel for the cloth and conditions.
It's such a hard position for Kyren because Ronnie O'Sullivan is so good. He is the benchmark. How do you play? Do you attack? Do you go defence? Any way could prove like not the way to go.
Well, I mean,
wherever way you got to do it well.
The thing is, Ronnie here, I think now Ronnie's at the point of his career where he reads the signs. He senses a little bit of, not weakness, because I think Kyren is strong, but just generally a few bad shots that go, you know, come towards him from his opponent, and then all of a sudden he moved up again. It burst from 1-1 to the point where it went 4-1. It was, you know, pretty clinical break building, wasn't it, including this?
Yeah, and I spoke about his attitude, Jill, and we've seen in frame 6, you know, that's going to run on from here. Here it is here. You know, he should have put the frame away earlier than he did. He played a real nice safety shot, I thought, off the last thread when a lot of players would have taken it on, so it just shows you his attitude's been spot on. This one we thought was going to turn into near jaw.
It was near jaw all the way and stayed near jaw. I mean, Ronnie won a frame there that he very rarely wins, a horrid frame, and it's like he lost it, you know. And at 5-1, believe it or not, he was a bit vulnerable because you think, well, he won't be happy winning the way he is. You know how he can get.
Let's have a look at Kyren kicking back in then in frame 7.
Yeah, this was a good shot. He didn't overplay this. That's what I liked about the shot. He played a real nice safety shot to create the opening. The red up by the green doesn't go, so he's got to do something with that, and he does the correct thing the second last red. Plays on the green, as Stephen said at the time, and he could easily drop on it and win the frame from that.
He got better then, didn't he? I mean, I think you liked this shot, didn't you, Stephen? The black to red, to cannon the red.
Well, we've criticised his cue ball control, but he actually put the cue ball in the exact perfect place to make the cannon automatic. And obviously that was a nice break to make. But unfortunately for him, he missed a long red in the next frame, which he would have loved to got that last frame of the session.
He's enjoying getting his eye in there and just getting himself set ready to see if he can get back into this match. He faces a tough challenge if he is going to get back on terms with Ronnie. Here's Alan's angle on how he might be able to turn it around.
So it's 6-3 for O'Sullivan going in tonight's final session. Massive session for Kyren Wilson for that beautiful piece of silverware right there. What can he do to reduce this deficit? The first thing is, I'd be telling Kyren Wilson, you're not going out to play a match with an end result tonight. You're going out to try and get back into the match. That's all you're doing. Forget the end. A couple of things I think he could have done early on. The frame 3, this little black in the middle. He's going through for that red, OK? So he plays the black in the middle. Now, for a player of Kyron's class, it was poor to leave the cue ball that straight. He's played the red. He's trying to come back top side of the blue and he lands there, which was no good at all. He really should have dropped the cue ball through. Bit more angle, being a right-hander, and with the cue power he's got, pot the red, screw off the bunch. The bunch opens up and the cue ball generally would probably come back into that area. Now, the other thing about it is, I think Ronnie O'Sullivan can be vulnerable. He's shown it in the past deep in a final. A couple of years ago, was it against John Higgins? John beat him 10-8, I think from 8-all. And I think that's when he's most vulnerable. Now, that's what I'd be telling Kyron. Bear that in mind. So don't go out to win the match tonight. Go out to get back in it. Let Ronnie know where you are, but be a little more positive and a bit more proactive in the balls. Try and get into the pack early as possible if you can. I know it's not easy. You're playing the Rocket, but go out there with a plan and fight hard for it.
Nice work, Alan. So that's, very straightforward. Don't go out there looking to win the match. Look to get back into it, get back on terms.
He's got to go out there and somehow just go and think, OK, it's just me in the table. I'm going to concentrate. I'm going to forget the crowd. I'm going to forget my opponent, forget everything, and just concentrate on that table and just try and get the job done.
Yeah, the next 4 frames absolutely crucial if he's going to get to that mid-session interval, if Ronnie doesn't run away with it.
He'll be mindful of when they played in the English, it was 6-2, best of 17, and Ronnie came out, won the first 3 in no time. But, look, he's just got to try and make things difficult for O'Sullivan. I say it last night, I say it again. When Ali Carter beat Ronnie in the World Championship, he made an uncomfortable experience playing him out there. And he's capable of that. But a lot of people are they don't really want to upset Ronnie. They've got to get under his skin and try and affect him, because otherwise you just walk all over you. A
bit like that 6th frame, which went 36 minutes long. You could see it unsettled Ronnie. He was uncomfortable there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he wants to do it by playing good snooker along the way, but, is he going to just roll over tonight and go the same way as so many others, or is he going to make an impression? He's got the chance and he's got the mindset to do it because he's strong.
That's the thing, what Ronnie said before, isn't it? He said that the result was secondary. He wants to go out there, impress the fans, play good snooker for the fans. So if he stops doing that, if he starts missing, playing bad shots, that's when he starts to get annoyed, and Kyron's got to read signals.
We have seen him this week play on occasions the champagne snooker that we expect, but we haven't quite seen it yet today.
Not quite today, but as Neil rightly says, that Ronnie's famed for coming out in the last session when the heat is really on. It's going to be vocal when the guys come down the stairs, but he seems to thrive in that pressure. OK,
let's get a prediction then, Neil.
I think Ronnie could run away with it and win quite comfortably.
I've got a feeling, Kyron's going to make a little game of it and win the 3 of the first 4.
If Ronnie wins the first frame, he wins 10-3, 10-4.
OK, blimey, there we go. We'll find out very shortly after the break. We'll get the snooker back underway here at the Reek Arena. It's the conclusion of the Champion of Champions, and it's next.